Today's video is about changing the battery in the Breitling Emergency version 1 watch. There is two batteries, the CR2025 for the EPIRB, and there's one Renato 399 battery for the watch movement itself. Let's start by removing the bracelet. I'm using a SIM removal pin which is readily available, and hopefully it's not too difficult. That's it. It's one side free. Just be careful the pin doesn't jump out. And then we'll do the same on the other side. The next step is to remove the 4 screws. I'm just using a 1.8mm screwdriver. It has a fixed end, so you can put plenty of pressure on the screws to make sure you don't skip. Once all the screws have been sufficiently loosened, just flip it over. Some of the screws may fall out already, but you can just lift everything apart, and there you are, 2 separate parts. Just so you don't lose the screws, take them all out and keep them somewhere safe. First we'll remove the EPIRB batteries. We'll need to loosen off this screw slightly, and then this one a little bit more, and this clasp will just move out of the way. Okay, that gives us a bit of movement. Now we undo you can see the battery's already moving a little bit. We should be able to then slide this part out of the way, like so. And then we can take it out with some tweezers, just like this. And the batteries I'm just going to flip over and remove, and we'll measure the voltages. Here are the 2 new batteries. I've already checked the voltage, 3.3 as well, and we'll just pop them back in here. 2. And then just be careful when you do this next part. So you do this part first with the top screw, and then it's just a matter of, again, using your tweezers or screwdriver or anything else you have just to push down a little bit, and you move it over, and that's pretty much it. Then you tighten up the screws. And that's it. EPIRB batteries are changed. For the next part we'll be changing the battery in the watch itself. This is the more difficult part, and the problem is just to get the case open itself if you don't have the right tools from the factory. So on the 6 o'clock position, you'll notice there's an indentation here, and that's what we'll be working with. I've already had this watch open a few years ago. I had to use quite a big tool to kind of pry it open. While you're doing that, just be very careful of this little connector here, that you don't snap it off or bend it in any way, and also try and protect the seal, which is here. You can take it off, but I choose to leave it on. Okay, to get the back casing off in the end, I actually ended up using a small screwdriver, as thin as the piece can be, just underneath the 6 o'clock position, and then you just want to twist it, not with too much strength, but just gently at first, and you might need to work it a little bit, and eventually you'll hear a pop, and then the lid will pop off. Just be careful you don't lose the O-ring here, and also just remember that there's also another O-ring on the inside. So just keep this safe, and now you've got access to the battery. Okay, now we can remove the battery. It's fairly simple. Just use a screwdriver and just pop it out from the side like this. That's it, ready for the new battery. Okay, to install the new battery is fairly simple. Just pop it in place like this, and then have a look on your display and if it hasn't started counting or it has funny digits, just push on the crown. That should reset it and you're good to go. Just make sure the battery's all nice and flat. Okay, now we're going to reassemble. Just make sure your seals on the inside and on the outside haven't really moved too much. If they have, just make sure they're properly aligned. And then basically all we're going to do is put this back on top and have a look through the screw holes to make sure everything matches up. Like this. Just give it a gentle press on top to kind of try and line everything up. If it pops into place, you're lucky. If it doesn't, that's okay, just let it be. Just be sure that this part here is close to the crown. That's how it should line up. And then we're going to pop the back over the top. Now to put the back on, I've already put the screws in place, and we basically just lift it over the top very carefully and try not to move anything out of place. Once you've confirmed that everything's in place, it's just a matter of doing up these screws in a diagonal fashion. So just do them up very, very gently at first, so that we're distributing the force across the case, and this is going to help reseal the actual watch part. Again, it doesn't need too much force anywhere. Just gently work your way around. Once you feel a bit of force, just continue going across in a diagonal fashion, and that'll pretty much seal up your watch properly. Once you've done this, just have a look on the other side, and you can have a look, make sure all the functions are working as they are. Everything looks okay here. And the final test, which you can also do before you put it all together, which I would suggest you do, just to pop your Breitling onto the test bed and see if you can hear the 1 to 1.5. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me at the moment, so I can't do it, but later on I'm going to go and find an airband radio and simply push the test button here with my pin. Okay, now it's time to put the bracelet back on. Just remember, those pins, they like to jump out, so just be very careful when you do that. Starting from the right side, you just need to line up everything here, which can be a bit annoying and fiddly, so just take your time, and then once you've got it all lined up, it all just clicks back into place. Just check that it's secure. That's it. Now we'll do the left side. Now the left. Make sure this clicks in place. This one just slipped out, so just be aware of that. Okay, now we've got a good click. You can wriggle everything left and right, all in place. That's it. That's how you change the battery on the watch and the ELT on your Breitling Emergency 1. If you'd like to leave some comments, please do so. Obviously I don't have all the tools, but this is a MacGyver's watch, so you have to make do with what you got. Thanks for watching.